you listen to reason? Will you open
Chris in Madison, Wisconsin. How's it going?
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for the show. You guys have really given me the courage to come out of the closet as an atheist.
Good,
Great.
that's what we're here for.
Yeah, I even started my own atheist blog too. So,
What, do you want to pimp the address?
Pimp your blog.
well, how nice of you to ask. Of course. It's called sereneatheist.blogspot.com. And I thought about writing articles for a while, but one thing that's really frustrating about you guys is I'll get this idea that I think is really novel, but I'm obsessed with your show now, and I go on YouTube and watch all kinds of episodes, and I hear people coming up with all these ideas that I thought once were novel, and they're not.
We're sorry.
Wait,
the
really?
Bible says
Well,
there's nothing new under the sun.
Really quickly, Chris, I don't think we say anything that's particularly new. It's just about saying it as much as possible because we're speaking against an institution that says things far more often than we can hope to with the small numbers that we have.
Right. We're all about spreading memes. Doesn't
That's right.
matter if it's original.
Thanks. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Well, one of the things, Tracy, too, for bringing something up before, not related to my call, but bringing up Amazing Grace.
Oh, yeah.
For so many years, the first few lines of that song have just made me sick. Talk about abusive, brainwashing mind control.
Yeah.
I'm a psychotherapist, an outpatient psychotherapist, and I see so much of the teachings like that be no different from the way abusers treat battered wives.
Yes. It's so similar.
Tearing away at your self-esteem. And which is a big reason why they stay then.
I described it one time as beating somebody up so badly that when you're not there, they beat themselves up.
Yeah, and that is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of women who have gotten out of abusive relationships, but they were in it for so long, and it takes so much time for them to get out of the fog. I call it the fog. It just, it turns everything backwards and upside down. And
Can I was just going to insert fog. Are you using that for fear, obligation, and guilt?
I read about that in a book, but it's kind of broader than that. Those are parts of it, but definitely in people, more often than not women, it's so much more than that.
I guess
that just gets down to the core of their being.
So you're the expert. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess one of the things that happens in an abusive relationship is a lot of emotional abuse, where the abuser says basically, "You are a terrible person, and you should appreciate me putting up with you. I'm only beating you."
Where would you be without me?
Because you deserve it.
Yeah, no one will love you the way I love you. This sort of instills the fear that you can't go anywhere else because nobody would have you. Yeah, another article I was going to write, I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's something called the power and control wheel that is used by a lot of domestic violence shelters, and it talks about how abusers use different things like children and economics and I can't think of too many right off the bat, like threats and other things, and these are just core things that abusers use. And when I look at that and I think about the way some churches talk and kind of indoctrinate people, it's no different.
Yeah.
And so I actually thought about creating a power and control wheel regarding church.
I hope you do that. I really do, because I've seen the same analogy in my own mind. It's the same. They insulate and isolate.
Yes.
They say the world is bad, and you need to just, we're right, and don't listen to them. They're all driven by Satan. Yeah.
Well, that'll be the next article I throw up there. You guys can check it out and
Do
tell me what
it.
you think.
Well, it's the same thing cults do, and I think you should check out my webpage about Amway sometime.
Oh, yeah, I will, definitely. I have checked out your page before.
Oh, okay.
Also for the World of Warcraft stuff. It's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah, that's actually, I've got a new diary on Daily Kos but sorry, I don't want to pin my stuff. But
Gotcha.
It's about politics and Warcraft.
Well, send us a link when you finally do that. I'd be interested in seeing your analogies.
I will. So, but what I was calling about initially was something funny that occurred to me not too long ago about the concept of miracles. And I think it's a word that gets tossed around a lot, like a Haitian man found in rubble after a week of after being in the earthquake recently. You know, of course, he had like 3 bottles of water next to him. Or, you know, some woman getting pregnant after doctors told her that she wasn't able to.
Right.
But these things aren't like impossible events.
Right.
Like somebody able to walk through a wall. They're just unlikely events.
Correct.
Yeah, they're just, I mean, the doctors who told her she wouldn't be able to get pregnant were wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, they made a mistake. And that is not a miracle.
Well, yeah, but the greater point is that the moment you say that that was something that was rare, you've also said that that was something that is possible. And once you've said it's possible, you've undermined miracle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But people will take these unlikely events and use it sometimes as proof that God exists.
They'll say, oh, the odds were so astronomically small, and it's like, well, then you're saying that there were odds that this could occur, right?
Right.
Yeah,
and that kind of goes to something funny that I thought about. I just kind of wonder what these people who call these events miracles think the world would be like without miracles. And basically, that would be a world where no unlikely events or close calls would ever take place.
Right.
And that, of course, would be the most
would either
unlikely
not
thing
occur
of
at
all.
all, or if it did, it would result in death every time. Or people in Haiti during an earthquake would have either survived unscathed, or they would have been dead without any chance of living whatsoever.
Well, I think I pointed that out once before, that if coincidences never occurred, that would be weird.
Yes, exactly.
Because there's so many things happening all the time. Yeah.
Right. And there you go, saying, you know, I think I brought this up before. That's just kind of evidence of what I was saying about how no ideas are novel.
It's kind of like people are really bad at probability theory, and so if you asked somebody, like, you know, you gave somebody a list of coin flips, like, I've read that if you ask somebody to write down a series of random numbers, those numbers will actually look a lot more random than real random numbers. Because in real random numbers, like if you flip a coin a bunch of times, you're going to have a run in there with 10 heads in a row. It's almost guaranteed.
Right.
If you roll dice a bunch of times, you're going to have a string of several 6s. It's very, very likely. But when people think of random events, they think there are never any weird-looking coincidences.
Correct.
That's a very good point. All right, well, I really appreciate you guys taking my call today.
Yeah.
And,
Thanks.
have a good one.
All right, thanks for calling.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Gotta get away from this illusion for the sake of the world.
The content of this video is produced by the Atheist Community of Austin, a nonprofit educational organization promoting positive atheism and the separation of church and state. If you enjoyed this content and are willing and able to provide a donation, please visit the website below.